Hey folks, Lambros here from Royal LePage, and this week's question is, what are the typical closing costs when buying a home? So you've saved up for your down payment, been pre-approved for a mortgage, and found the house of your dreams. Before you sign on the dotted line, however, make sure you know what additional costs you will incur just before the house becomes yours. The first expense you'll incur is a home inspection. This can cost a few $100s depending on the size of the house, and is highly recommended, especially on older properties. Remember, you are investing hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe $1 million or more, on this property, so is it not worth it to spend an extra few hundred to make sure that you know what you're getting? The second expense you may incur is an appraisal. More and more lenders are now sending their own appraisers to the property, so guess who has to pay for it? You may also want to purchase a survey if one is not available. This can cost as low as $20, for example, if it's on file at your city's planning department, or as much as a few thousand if you're ordering a new one. A survey outlines property boundaries and identifies restrictions that may impact the property's value. Your lender may even ask for an up-to-date survey when you apply for a mortgage. You may get away with no survey, however, if you purchase title insurance. Most lenders require you to have title insurance anyway, so this is not really an option. Title insurance may cost around $300 or so, but it is critical. As with a home inspection, it is a small investment to make for the protection of your property from things like identity theft, mortgage fraud, zoning violations, etc. This brings us to closing day. Your lawyer will naturally have their own fee, and this can vary depending on his or her hourly rate. And he or she may also charge you for disbursements, and HST, obviously. Speaking of tax, every home purchase in Ontario is subject to something called land transfer tax, which is approximately 1.5% of the purchase price, and sometimes higher, depending on the price point. If you're lucky enough to buy inside the Toronto city limits, you will be charged double the land transfer tax because the city has its own. But the good news is that first-time home buyers are eligible to receive a rebate for part of this tax. Speaking of taxes, of course, you will have to pay property tax on your new home, and the amount will depend on the mill rate of the municipality that you're buying in. And sometimes the property tax is rolled into your mortgage payment, so make sure you talk to your lender about that. And we're not even done with taxes yet, because HST may be applicable on new construction, that is, which is another advantage for resale homes. And there may also be potential rebates here as well, depending on the builder and other factors. So are we almost done? Well, if you haven't been discouraged yet about buying a home, you will also need to dish out for things like home insurance, and premiums here will likely depend greatly on size of the property, location, etc., other factors such as if you're combining it with other types of insurance. If you're buying a condo, you will probably have to prepay some of the maintenance fee, at least for the first month. And last but not least, if your down payment is less than 20%, you'll be required to pay mortgage insurance. And this may also be subject to a sales tax. Mortgage life insurance is optional, but you may want to consider that, especially if you have a family. I'm sure I'm forgetting something, but if I haven't even talked about moving expenses yet. And please, don't be discouraged by all these costs. Home ownership is still a great investment if you can afford it. So if you'd like more information, by all means, don't hesitate to post a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. You can also call, text, or email me. Thanks for watching. Have a fantastic day.